Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for coming back to the channel. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's getting a chance to get out there on the water and catch some fish. Um, First off, right off the bat, before I get started with today's topic on the video, I want to thank everybody for the comments and all the feedback on all the videos I've done. It's really cool to go back and look at videos I made a month ago or 2 months ago, and I'm still getting, comments back and forth with you guys about something that I touched on in one of the older videos, as well as the newer ones I've been putting out. So I appreciate the interaction. I really do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and you're coming back and checking out the videos on a regular basis, I ask that you would subscribe, give the video a like if it's something that is interesting to you and something that's helped you catch more fish. All those things help the channel grow, and I really would appreciate any likes, subscribes, and keep the comments and the feedback coming. Today, I'm going to talk about something I've been fishing with a lot the last 2 to 3 months, and it was a new technique to me, and it's still new because, when you're fishing, it takes you a little while to really get into a technique and learn all the little ins and outs of it. And that's the free rig. I've gotten a lot of questions, in the comments about how I fish it, what baits, the different kinds of weights, just different things that you guys are asking me. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna just do a little video on it and show you my take on it since I started fishing it. The big thing about this rig to me is, without a doubt, and it really comes from the name itself, is the range of motion and the freedom that your soft plastic has on the back of this bait. The fact that you have a sliding weight that can move freely up and down your line, and I got this right here, that is a big part of what makes this work. And for the most part, honestly, I've been fishing this because of the time of year it is. I've been fishing this in probably, I'd say 2 to 4, maybe 5 foot of water. Most of the fishing I've done with this rig to this point, because of the time of year the year that we're in, that's what I've been, the depth I've been fishing in. The thing is, as the spawn goes away, and now we're heading into post-spawn in summer, and you're fishing deeper, the more separation you're going to get from this weight and your soft plastic. Let me show you real quick how I rig it up. Now, I ain't saying that the way I'm rigging it is different from anyone else that fishes it. I did add one little thing to me just to protect the knot where I tie on my hook. Let's talk about the rig itself for a second. I've had a lot of questions about bobber stops. That's a bobber stop. This is an open package. I got one left up there. And Woo Tungsten is who I use, but there are other brands that make them. But Woo Tungsten makes a good bobber stop. This is a bobber stop. And you just slide it on your line. First, what I do is I put on this free floating tungsten sinker. Now it looks like a drop shot sinker, it is, but it's not the type that you clip on. Hopefully you can see. It's a swivel attached to the end of this. And that's what gives this sinker the freedom to move up and down your line. Now, I primarily use 3 sizes. I've been fishing most with the 3/8. But there's 3/8, 3/16, and 1/4. That's the 3 sizes that I've been fishing the most with. And I'm going to take one of these out so I can give you a better look at the sinker itself. Put it right here. And you can see at the top of the sinker, it's got a little swivel. Now, the thing with the Woo Tungsten, I think these are called Invisa-Shot. One thing I like about the Woo Tungsten is they stamp the weight on every one of the tungsten, so you know exactly what size you're throwing or what size you're looking for. And sometimes that's helpful when you're digging through your box and you're kind of on a good bite and you're just trying to get things put together and piece it back together. And you can use lead. You don't have to use tungsten. You can use lead if you prefer. It's cheaper. I get it. Sometimes you're just trying to save a buck. And I've told you in some of my other videos, I'm the same way. The reason I like the tungsten is I like to feel the bottom, and I like to know when I'm going from sand to rock to with this tungsten, you can tell if it's smaller rock, pebbles, if the rocks are bigger, riprap. You can just get a lot better feel with the tungsten than you can lead. It's just a better feel. And it does cost a little more. And like I said, you can use lead if you'd like, but I use the tungsten. I put a bobber stop. After I put my weight on the line, I use a bobber stop. And I put it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches above the hook. And that keeps that weight for me away from the gap and the bite on my hook and the bait. Sometimes I'll even push it up a little bit more. Plus it protects the knot and keeps that sinker swivel from hitting up against the knot and causing a problem. That is something I do. That's my preference. I'm not sure whether anyone else does it or not, but it's just something that gives me a little bit more confidence in the bait. When you flip this, just like this, that weight goes in and the weight goes down first on your line. Say here's your weight on the bottom. And as the weight gets on the bottom, your bait is free to float down freely with no weight except for the weight of your hook. Let's quickly talk about line and rod. I use a 6.5 to 7 foot medium heavy rod. No brand preference. I use 15-pound line. You can use whichever line you prefer. I used to use just Berkley Big Game for everything. I have switched over to the P-Line CXX, and that's good line. It's very, very abrasion resistant. It's more like a copolymer than it is straight monofilament, and it's tough line, and it's been real reliable and real good for me. Use whatever line you're used to using, whatever you like to throw, whatever you got confidence in. So much of fishing and everything that we do with this stuff, you guys know, it comes from good results from things you've done in the past, and that boils back down to confidence. So I use 15-pound line, 6.5 foot rod. Use whatever hook you're comfortable with. I fish a lot with EWG hooks. All I use is Gamakatsu hooks, and they have just about every hook they make in red, and that's why I use a lot of the Gamakatsu stuff. As far as cast and retrieve, it's no different than you would fish a Texas rig. You just, and you can throw this thing anywhere. You can flip it in bushes, you can throw it around laydowns, you can fish it around rock. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And the separation of weight from your bait is the key. And as we approach summer and as we head closer to deeper water fishing, which is coming up with the post spawn, the separation is going to be even more key, because the deeper you're fishing and that weight goes to the bottom, you've got more separation in deeper water than you would in shallow water, because this is going to take longer for the weight to hit the bottom, and it's going to create more separation and more free fall for your plastic. It's a very versatile technique, and I'm just scratching the surface with it. I've told you about the rod, the line, bobber stops, the sinkers, and the hook. Whatever hook you're comfortable using based on the plastic. One of the biggest keys to me to this technique is the baits. Now this is the Strike King Rage Tail Scoon Bug. I've been doing really, really well with this bait. It does have kind of a flat side to it. Not completely flat, but it has a pretty good fall, and it doesn't take much resistance to get these flappers, the claws, to a lot of movement. They make a lot of commotion. That's been a good bait for me. There's other baits I have thrown on it that have also done well. And again, bait's preference. It's up to you. And with this technique, it's like you could experiment with some of everything. Anything you can comes in your mind, use your imagination, and you could try some of everything. Speed crawl has been a good bait on it. I've used that some. The Rage Bug, again, the appendages, and plus now here's a real good example of the flat side. A flat-sided bait like this, it has a different action. It's much more of a gliding action with these type baits, with the flatter sides. And if you only got one flat side, always on a bait, because the way it's made, just always rig the flat side down. This is the Black Label Piglet. This bait looks really, really good on a free rig. Really, really good. All of the Black Label, a lot of them, the Crawls and Creatures, are really flat. And this is some durable plastic. I don't know what's different about it, but these things, you don't throw them away after one or two fish. That's another one. The Zoom Z-Crawl. That's a good one. That also has some, good appendages on it, and that's a relatively flat bait. This is another Strike King bait. This is the Space Monkey. I've had some success this spring with that bait. And some of these baits I'll throw in the summer. Now here's a bait I haven't tried yet, but as of right now, I'm going to start trying. And this is the one I've told you about earlier that I ordered from Carl's Bait and Tackle. It's from a company called 100,000 Fish, I think is what it's called. Yeah, 10,000 Fish, I'm sorry. And this is the Yodo worm. This bait, I have a feeling, is going to be a real killer on this technique. This is like the 4-inch version of it. And I'm going to start putting this, this profile is like perfect for bait fish or bluegill. And this is just a black and blue of the same thing. That's a bait I'm going to start giving a lot of time to. Your flukes. I'm definitely going to start fishing the fluke on it. As the bass become more pelagic and it becomes more of a bait fish, shad spawn feeding thing, as they move out to the summer, to the deeper water in the summer and the post spawn, and they start to feed more heavily on bait fish, I can just imagine a fluke on this thing is going to be awesome. Another bait I really like to throw, and I haven't talked about a lot, is the Zoom Magnum Finesse Worm. also has a flat side. This is one of my favorite colors, green pumpkin blue. And just rig this with the flat side down. You know, all these baits are going to look really good on the back of the free rig, just because, again, of the separation from the bait and the hook and the weight itself to create a free fall and a gliding action as the bait goes down. And something you got to watch and see. It's cool because I've had a couple of subscribers reach out and leave me comments about fish they have already caught with the free rig. And that's awesome. I think they've just started, maybe kind of like me, just really getting into using the rig. And they've already caught some nice fish with it. This is just a Zoom trick worm, again, flat side down. Now I understand that the bait's gonna fall. You know, it's important to rig your hook so the flat side will be down. That'll play a big part in how it falls. Another bait I love to throw that I'm gonna, and it's not flat at all, but I'm gonna give it some time on there, is the Zoom Brush Hawk. That's another bait that it's always been a bite getter. Everybody knows the Brush Hawk. As we move further along into the summer, I'm going to start fishing with some bigger worms. It's something, and this technique, I ain't saying it will replace a Texas rig, but you can literally flip this thing into anything. And the combination of this sinker and the way it separates from the bait, you can just put this thing anywhere. At Kerr, I've had a lot of success the last couple of tournaments, or a couple of times I've been there fishing, flipping this in the bushes. When the lake's been up, this thing will come back through anything. It honestly, to me, feels like it comes back through cover better than the Texas rig, which, you know, with the Texas rig weight right there on the head, pegged or unpegged, you know, sometimes it doesn't always want to. This thing seems like, to me, it comes through cover better, but that's just me. If you're not fishing it, honestly, you're missing out, because it's something that I think is, once you start using it and you kind of see how versatile it is, and you start experimenting with different pieces of plastic on the end of it, you're really gonna like it, and it's gonna be something that you're really gonna gain confidence in quickly. Any kind of plastic. Zoom Centipede, that's another one that I haven't fished with, but again, it pops in my mind as something to, you know, and don't forget the importance of the sliding weights and not the clip-on weights. I hope this helps y'all. Rig it up, tie on your favorite plastic, and give it a go. I guarantee you it's going to be something that you're going to enjoy fishing with. It's easy to fish with, and it gets a lot of bites. And, you know, it's something that my confidence in it has grown a lot already. So again, I hope this helps you guys. I'm sorry it's been a little while on the video. I've had some stuff with my trailer, boat trailer, I had to fix, and it's just been other stuff, and the boat's a mess right now. I'm heading back to a derby this weekend. I'll be back in, heading back to Kerr. So hopefully I can, I'm pretty sure free rig's gonna play a part in that. See how the day goes and go from there. But good luck to you guys. If you haven't, please like, subscribe to the video, leave your comments, suggestions for other stuff you'd like to see. And I hope you guys have the rest of your weeks good to you. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.